In the heart of a vast Southeast Asian jungle over 1,000 years ago, a grand society embarked upon a momentous endeavor to conquer time itself. Their aspiration was to erect towering statues and temples of devotion that would stand for an eternity. Nevertheless, as with humanity and nature, time and circumstance were not kind. Centuries of conflict and war took their toll, as did the changing climate, which parched the local water sources. This impressive testament to human ingenuity slowly succumbed back to the jungle. Fast forward 1,000 years, and two men have decided to retrace the steps of these ancient architects. Yet they are not searching for permanence, quite the contrary, in fact. Their mission is to illuminate the fleeting nature of the present and kindle a fire within others to pursue their dreams now without delay. For tomorrow is a very long way away.
Take Your Seat is actually, it's a journey. It's a journey about a chair, which on the surface, of course, is a piece of furniture, but for us, it's really symbolic. If you think of what a director does on a movie set, a director decides what shows up on the big screen, and we want you to think of your life as the biggest screen of all. And so this chair, in that symbolic sense, represents your dreams, it represents your responsibility to planet Earth, but it really represents your sense of control. You're in charge. You get to direct your life.
I think seeing the way people react to the work has really kept us going with it. An appreciation for photography and for creating art gets you started, but it's really driven us to keep going and to keep pushing to see what else we can come up with, the reactions that we get from the audiences. And sometimes it's even as dramatic as people realizing the message right there, looking at the picture, and you see a tear in their eye. Or it can be that you get a message a couple weeks later saying, I saw your show, I went and did the thing I said I was always going to do. And so getting that kind of reaction has been fantastic.
Crisscrossing the globe to document what unites us rather than what divides us is a unique mission, but it's one that's more critical now than ever before.
What we found is that if you think of technology, the cell phones, access to social media and so forth, from a device standpoint, we are more connected than we've ever been before. But the more countries that we travel to with this chair, the more we realize that we're actually disconnected as human beings. And with this chair as a symbol of you taking charge of your life and recognizing that you have a role to play, whether that's living your best life, whether that's how we relate to each other as human beings, or whether it's how we relate to this planet. There is a responsibility and a great joy, if you think about it, that you have a role to play in making things the way we hope they will be from a planetary standpoint and also from a, just humanity standpoint.
This used to be all water. It was like the water city. And
try to imagine.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to tell now, but they said the reason that it crumbled, the reason it fell, was that there was a huge drought. Yeah, so if we can find like a bridge or remnant of one of the canals for our photograph, something that shows what this place used to be, or at least a symbol of that, that would be really great.
Well, I like the idea of showing that quasi-invincibility of these people, and because we do the same thing. We're so arrogant in so many ways as a human race now that we think nothing's ever going to stop us. And our lives are kind of like that. So yeah, there could be a very interesting parallel that way.
Yeah, I think we'll find a really good spot.
We chose Siem Reap and Angkor Wat particularly because of what it represents from a humanistic perspective. You think about what it must have been like when this place was at its peak. Human beings must have felt invincible. And at the same time, of course, when you see the ruins all around you, that invincibility turned to inevitability. And for Take Your Seat, what drives a lot of our work is this notion of taking charge and recognizing that, you know what, today, not tomorrow, not sometime in the future, but today's the day you should start taking action. And so rather than speak to something that says, one day I'm going to do this, we actually very much ascribe to the idea of make it this day. And so one day becomes day one.
And on this day, a father, a son, and yes, a chair, continue a journey to capture the world and make the most of the here and now.